I've been placing so many makeup orders. Got some stuff at Ulta. Walmart had some really interesting new makeup under $5 that we're trying. So this is all drugstore. All the makeup I'm trying out today is listed down below in the description box if you want to check anything out. Let's get into it. Cheers, by the way. How massive is this thing? And we are matching. Let's dig into the big bag. This is a new Hard Candy Luminous Serum Glow Primer. Hyaluronic acid, peptides. Oh, it's straight up gold. How nice feel going between the fingers. That sounded weird. Whoa. Oh my god, hard candy. Again, the watermelon scent. Actually, was that Essence? That was Essence last time, but this is pretty bad. It smells like watermelon Jolly Rancher. Right now it's feeling a little too greasy for what I like, but if you have like ultra dry skin, you might like this because it does feel very moisturizing and like slightly oily. It kind of feels like a thicker oil, like facial oil. So it actually didn't add too much bronze at all, like at all. If you have oily skin, definitely no. Normal skin, we'll see. Dry skin, you might actually like this because, yeah, it does just feel kind of like skincare. Picked up 2 different shades just in case we got a backup, but this is the Revolution Super Serum Hyaluronic Acid Foundation. So this is what piqued my whole interest for this video. I was on Walmart shopping on there, and there's a whole new line. It's by Revolution, but everything is under $5, and that's actually like rare these days with inflation, with everything. The brands that used to be like under $5, Wet n Wild, Elf, like they're all getting up there. This foundation is under $5. So I have the shades F3 and F4. I'm thinking I'm going to be closer to F4 today. So it says it's a silky breathable base, ultra lightweight. That's all it says. It comes in only 10 shades. Typically Revolution, I feel like the lightest one lately has been pretty light. The darkest one looks pretty deep. I feel like it's the kind of thing similar to like the AOA serum foundation where if it's a, you know, more affordable foundation, you could pick up 2 different shades and kind of mix them to try and get your perfect shade because 2 of them would only be $10, which is still cheaper than a lot of drugstore foundations right now. But I'm gonna start with the shade F4, I think. Shake it up since it definitely is a serum. I'm just gonna drop this bad boy on. It actually didn't say if it was supposed to have a glowy finish, did it? Obviously the finish, it's a little hard to tell when you have like a super dewy base like this, so the finish on its own I'll have to try again to see what it is, but it does feel nice and lightweight blending out. Feels like a typical kind of serum foundation. It's looking nice and just like healthy and plump on top of that primer at least. I do like the undertone of this shade. It doesn't look too orange or yellow. I feel like especially with serum foundations, I typically like to use a brush because a sponge can just soak up like all of it if it's that kind of consistency. It actually covered my redness pretty well. I'm using a decent amount, but I would say I'm getting light to medium coverage. I can still see my skin coming through, but it looks really nice and does look just natural. Okay, obviously I'm looking extremely glowy, you know, but I think a lot of that is that primer coming through. Like, I don't think I would use these 2 together moving forward. I am gonna add some powder, but so far so good. It's looking just like kind of plump and radiant. I wouldn't say it looks like super amazing around my pores or my upper lip, but I'm actually gonna take my dry sponge and just like press in to get any excess. It's looking slightly heavy on my upper lip, but not bad. I just put on some concealer. I used the Jewel Blend and brows. These I've been patiently waiting to test out in a video. So these are the new e.l.f. Halo Glow contour ones. And then I also picked up the Flower Beauty Low Light liquid contour one. Same kind of thing, same kind of concept. These are kind of duping like the Charlotte Tilbury kind of thing. Everyone's doing it. Tarte did it. I feel like a lot of brands have these kind of little cream bronzers now. But I have 2 different shades. I picked up Fair Light and Light Medium, so the 2 lightest shades. Fair Light looks in the packaging like it's going to be significantly more cool toned and gray. So these ones don't have a twist lock, which is a little concerning, so hopefully they won't like explode all over the place, especially if you're traveling. Whoa, big difference in undertone and shade here. Doing Flower Beauty on the end. This one does have a twist lock. Here's e.l.f. Fair to Light, e.l.f. Light to Medium, and the Flower Beauty in Light. So we have quite a mix of shades and undertones here. So obviously this one is very much like a more gray cool tone. So we're gonna start out by contouring. So I am gonna use the lightest cool tone from e.l.f. and I'm gonna use my contour brush. This thing is great. Oh yeah, see, look, already this is exploding out of the top. So because it's like coming out of the top already, I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush. And then here we go. So here's the grayish cool tone. Oh, that was a lot. The thing with these tones is Sometimes they can look a little muddy, especially if you get too much, and I feel like I got a little much on this side. I'm gonna take my sponge and kind of blend that out, but I can tell already this is gonna be exploding all over the place. I'll do the e.l.f. on my cheeks and the Flower Beauty on my forehead. So here's the light to medium shade. So I'm gonna use this one just kind of like as a bronzer, basically. I'm gonna start out with a small amount because I don't know how much it's gonna, need a little more than that. On the face, the tone of the light to medium, I like a lot more. It actually doesn't look as orange as it did, like swatched on my hand at all. It actually looks like a nice neutral kind of tone, not too gray, not too orange. I feel like it is the kind of thing where you wanna go in with like a decent amount though at the beginning, or else it can look a little patchy. The mirror is so far away right now, so let me look up close here. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I like that tone a lot. Okay, let's try the Flower Beauty Low Light on my forehead. I feel like that one is picking up the foundation a bit. I don't know how I feel about that formula. Let me see on this side. It's a little patchy. I'm gonna have to keep trying this one. The tone, again, the tone looks nice though. I'm gonna go back in with the e.l.f. Yeah, this one deposits a little more color without picking stuff up, I feel like. That tone is beautiful. So in a vlog that I think is actually going up after this video, you'll see me trying for the first time the e.l.f. blush wand. I have the shade Candlelit. It says lit. I don't think it's Candlelit. Candlelit. Anyways, I have this shade, but it was like very much like a blush topper, like pretty light. And then the highlight I swatched on my hand and it was like very icy and looked textured, so I was kind of turned off. Didn't try it, so we're gonna try it today. But first, because I tried this one in a different video and I know I need a different shade of this blush one unless I use that as a blush topper, which it would be pretty. But I have this guy. This is the Hard Candy Luminous Blush. It's in the shade Born Yesterday. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. This one has a little applicator. Here's both of them not blended out, and I'm gonna go and blend them out. I'm just gonna apply it on the face. This is pretty. Gives that kind of like pinky sheen that I love. Feels easy to blend out. Feels thin, it's not like sticking anywhere. Ooh, this is beautiful. I just wanna keep putting this on my face. This is so pretty. Okay, I guess I am just gonna continue to put this on my face. Here we go. Okay, the edges are gonna be blended more after I add some powder and other things. Okay, I'm gonna try Rose Quartz. This is the highlighter shade. Okay, better than I thought. I'm gonna use the blush shade on the other cheek and see the difference. So this is the Candlelit shade. Yeah, I don't know, the blush just sits a little better on the skin and still gives that glow, clearly. Definitely need a little powder. I'm gonna take my Essence Powder Foundation. I like using this under my eyes and around my pores. So I'm gonna do it for both today. Obviously when you're doing powder after this, it is gonna like dull down that highlight a little bit. So because I definitely need the powder, I am just taking a little bit on this brush and like really pressing it in around my pores. Yeah, the base combo is not the most flattering on the pores. I'm gonna take the Physicians Formula Butter Glow. This is basically translucent, just gives the prettiest finish. It gives this like diffused kind of finish to the face. And it can do some like nice smoothing on the rest of your face too. I like I need a little more blush, so I'm gonna take Essence Rosy Rosewood. Just press that on. There we go. Makes it all come together. Okay, I picked this up thinking it might be a dupe for my favorite Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick. This is the Hard Candy eyeshadow marker, but I just realized that this is actually metallic. So this could be pretty for the inner corner. Definitely still gonna try this, but it wouldn't be like an all over kind of base because typically, I mean, I like a matte base. Okay, so I just put down a couple browns from the Pat McGrath palette because I'm currently testing this. I didn't like finish blending because I'm going to be putting this all over the lid, but it's the Revolution Eyelight Metallic Shadow in the shade Queen. This was only like $3. The deep brown in the Pat McGrath, still, I feel like it's a little patchy. You have to like do a real specific, like you got to pat it on or else it gets really patchy. Oh, this shade looks like it's gonna be nice. This is an interesting applicator. It's just like a little paddle, which you don't really need a brush with this because you always have to use either your finger or a brush to like blend it in anyway. Oh, shitsies. Sometimes these can dry really fast, so I am gonna go right away and blend it in. That is stunning. Look at that. Yeah, that is beautiful. I do want to add a little bit of warmth, so I'm going to take this shade from the Wet n Wild Always Naked palette and kind of just blend that right where the metallic shade is ending and a little bit into the crease. Okay, now we're going to try the Bubbly Metallic Hard Candy Pencil. On a daily basis, I love putting like a lighter color in my inner corner, just really opens it up. So I'm always looking for something like this. Hoping this will be a good inner corner shade, just like pop really easily right there. It's not like an immediate pop, like you do have to kind of build it up a little bit, but adds some nice brightening. I'm curious how this would do on the waterline. Before I add shadow to the lower lash line and then do lashes and stuff, I do have this NYX Epic Wear waterproof liquid liner. So I love, like, one of my holy grail eyeliners is the Epic Ink pen liner. I think I'm gonna try to put this on and then like smudge it with a flat liner brush tip applicator, which especially for doing a wing, for me, I'm just like, why? We have really nice fine points now that it's so much harder to do a wing or to get like a specific shape with this kind of applicator to me. But some people like it for like just covering the lash band after lashes or something like that. Hoping it doesn't dry down too fast so that I have time to kind of work with it here. Something like this I could use either on its own in this way, like that actually was very easy, or you can put this as a base and then add like a black shadow over top. Okay, this side got a little out of control, so then I had to do some fixing. I ended up going in with the Ulta Beauty black shadow. This is in the shade Late Night. It'll come together once I have lashes on. Right now I feel like we need some work, but once I have lashes on, it'll be fine. Whenever I try to do this on camera, it never turns out how it does when I'm off camera. This stuff is great, the Maybelline Sky High Primer with certain mascaras. So now I'm gonna use the Essence Lash Like a Boss. I don't like this on its own, but with this primer, it makes such a difference with that primer. Guys, I'm feeling a little like, I need like a triple shot right now of espresso. I think I'm gonna keep it pretty light on the lower lash line, so I'm just gonna take the lightest matte shade in this palette. These are just random lashes that I cut in half. You can do this with any kind of like separated lash style. Just I usually take the first half actually of the lash and then put it on the outer half of my eye. I have other videos where I've like showed exactly doing this, but it just gives you like the outer corner like lifted look more. Lashes are on. I ended up feeling like I needed a little liner on my inner corner, so I used my Undone Beauty and just did like a mini, cat eye kind of thing. Cream liner on the waterline, lower lash mascara. The angles I wish they were a little more lifted today, but sometimes it happens. Didn't go quite high enough, but I am gonna do something revolutionary right now and use a different lip liner. No Tarte Mauve. No Makeup Forever. We're using NYX Sandstorm. This is a NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. And I have a couple lip products I'm going to try over top. Lip liner literally makes such a difference, and I don't like to fill it in all the way. This launch I was so freaking excited for. I did like the pre-order on Amazon, like I was ready. This is the NYX Lip Drip Fat Oil. I have the shade Supermodel. I couldn't wait. I did try this on the other day, but I feel like I don't have thoughts yet because I was kind of just trying on a few other things too. And I also picked up the JCat Dew Glow Lip Hydrator. This shade looked right up my alley. It's Dew Hydrate. So let's go in with the JCat first. This reminded me, when I saw this, it reminded me of my Glossier Lucite, so I'm hoping it looks similar. Hoping this also has like a nice gloss to it. Those two together look really pretty. It isn't very glossy at all. I would say this is more of like just a satin kind of tinted balm lips. Honestly, more like a lipstick. I mean, it has a decent amount of pigment to it. It's not one of those products where like your lip color is going to be coming in underneath. It is really pretty though. I really like those two together. I think the tone of this one is nice. Personally, I would add like a gloss over top just because I really like the glossy lip look lately, but that looks pretty. I am though going to wipe it off because I want to see the NYX on its own. Just on the center, I'm keeping the liner on. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the NYX lip oil. Big applicator on this, which I always appreciate it. But this one is weird. When you pull it out, and I noticed this the first time I used it, the product gets on the tip. It doesn't actually get in the applicator where you want it. So you kind of have to like go in the opposite direction, get it off, and then go in. It has a fruity scent, which I don't love, but like my Holy Grail CoverGirl lip oil, that also has a fruity scent. I overlook it because I love the product so much and how it looks. And that one also doesn't linger. I feel like that's a big factor for me, is like, does the scent linger? Really pretty shade. Feels comfortable, feels lightweight. It's not as glossy looking as the CoverGirl or as plumping, but it's pretty. I do want a little more gloss though. I'm gonna do something weird and actually take this eye pencil. I'm gonna take it on my finger. I'm not gonna go back in. I'm just gonna take it on my finger and kind of dab on and see if I can get like a sheen mixed in here. There we go. just added like a little more sheen to the middle of my lips. Okay, so this is the final look. I'm gonna go through my standouts, things I think you should skip, and just kind of like overall thoughts so far on some of these products. I do speed reviews, so I'm going to continue to test these, and then I'll be mentioning these products in the next speed reviews video where I share like my final thoughts once I've tested them more. But starting off with the Hard Candy Glow Serum Primer, I think this is just going to be like so specific to a certain type of person. You have to have like severely dry skin. You have to like that like facial oil kind of feel, because it literally does feel like a facial oil. But if you like that, if you need like intense moisture, then you might really like this. If you're an Accutane, you might like this. Other than that, I think it might be too oily for most people. The Super Serum Foundation, it's hard to say because I have it on top of this primer, which I clearly am like iffy about. I'm definitely gonna be trying this on its own and with other primers underneath. But I like the way this blended out. I like the coverage of it, and I feel like this does have potential, but I think trying this in other ways, I feel like I could probably find a way that I really like this, just because I initially like how it went on and everything. This shade surprised me. I feel like the light medium shade is such a pretty tone. Definitely gonna get a lot of use out of this, I can tell. I love the tone of the light medium one. The lightest one is just a little gray. It's a little gray, but if you're into the really gray, cool toned, you might really like this. I'm really, as we know, not a fan of the applicator already. Like, it's just already exploding out of here, so I can't even imagine when I get on a plane, this is gonna be an explosion, so definitely gonna have to put this in like a separate plastic baggie. Here's my reminder as you're editing this. Put it in a bag. Unless I'm just totally spacing out, but like I tried twisting it, doesn't seem to be doing anything, and there's no words on here like saying lock or anything. So the Flower Beauty, I'm gonna need to try it. Obviously I didn't use this on my cheeks, so I can't like super say on this, but I did feel like it slightly removed the foundation on my forehead. Not a great sign, but I will try it on my cheeks and see. I feel like this was the standout, one of the standouts for sure. The Revolution Eye Light Metallic Eyeshadow. This is beautiful. Love the tone of it, love how it went on. I actually did add a little more afterwards, like after I put my lashes on, I added a little more right here and it went over top fine. Some can get like chunky or flake off or whatever. This one just laid on top fine on what I already had on. The Hard Candy Bubbly, it wasn't like super intense. You have to really like build this one up, and even then you can see it's more of just like a light wearable kind of metallic, I would say. It is pretty, but it's not going to be like as reflective as what I have on my eyes right now. But if you just want something like a little sheen for an everyday, this could be pretty on the lid just for like an everyday slight sheen, or on the inner corner. But if you don't want it to be really noticeable or really intense, the other product that's definitely in my top is the Hard Candy Face Off Blush. I'm like excited to do my makeup again so I can try this again. This is beautiful. If you like that very glow from within, reflective, ethereal kind of pink cheek, you'll probably love this. I think it looks beautiful on. I hope it lasts well because the sheen is there. My stomach is growling. The J Cat, by the way, doesn't have a scent. For me, this shade is pretty. I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of this because I feel like I would rather just do a 2-in-1. Like the Glossier Lucite for me has this color, but it also has that really pretty, just like juicy kind of look to it, and it has more gloss. This one I'm liking. Gonna have to keep trying because I just feel like for me, the CoverGirl is like so beautiful and gives my lips like so much plumpness and juiciness that a lot of things I try in comparison to that, I'm just like, CoverGirl's better. So that's like kind of how I'm feeling about this one so far, but I don't not like it. I do wish the applicator, like the product wouldn't come out how it does, because it's just kind of silly. Like you can't actually use the applicator straight out of here. You kind of have to get the product off first, but everything is linked down below in the description box. By the way, I've been putting the e.l.f. Whoa Glow SPF on my chest, and it gives a nice natural like body glow. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.